to Crosby ISD staff, students, and community every day. Tonight, we will start with a proclamation from Precinct 3 Commissioner Tom Ramsey. They were not able to be here today. I do have your proclamations. We will have you stand and take pictures at the end if that's okay, because we do have a performance for you as well. The proclamation reads, the Honorable Harris County Precinct 3 Commissioner Tom S. Ramsey, PE, hereby recognizes each board member for your service to Crosby ISD January 2026. As Precinct 3 Commissioner of Harris County, Texas, and on behalf of the constituents of Harris County, it is my honor to recognize and congratulate each of you for your faithful service to the Crosby ISD Board of Trustees. Your dedication to steward the educational experience for students in your community is truly making the district a wonderful place to live and learn. Thank you for your invaluable contributions to the board as you serve the faculty, students, and families. Our constituents and I wish you continued success in Harris County Precinct 3, and it is signed by Tom Ramsey. In front of you, board, I want you to know that each of you has a gift basket. And also to the table in the front, our floral design. Each item was gifted to you from students in our CTE department. So our floral design students created these wonderful arrangements for each of you to take home tonight. From our education class, you have a jar of goodies to help you get through the hard days and celebrate the big wins. From our health sciences class, you have a pill bottle from our aspiring nurses and doctors who have written you a prescription of thanks. Make sure to follow your doctor's orders on the dosage recommendation on that one. For your culinary arts class, we have homemade chocolate chip cookies made with love, caring from our soon-to-be renowned chefs in the making. And I may or may not be able to tell you that they are delicious. And from our ag mechanics class, you have a laser cut and painted placard for your desk with your name on it. We also have from our engineering students a laser engraved keychain displaying their hard work in learning to engrave technologies. On the back of it, the keychain does say, because of you, learning has no limits. And I just got one handed to me, but from our future artists at kindergarten, we have portraits for you. You're going to love these. Okay. Lastly, you will find a big token of appreciation from our partners, LAN. It is a huge highlighter to highlight all of the success that you will have in the coming year. I thank you, board, from the depth of my heart and everyone else that I represent and stand here today. We thank you for all that you do for our community, our staff, and our students. And our show would not be complete, our presentation would not be complete without our wonderful kindergartners here to share their thanks.
Turn this way, guys. Turn this way. Every step Kindergarten. Turn around. Face the table. Come here, Rodney. Come here, Rodney. Yeah. Yeah. Back up. Show them a big smile, guys. All right. Ready? H-A-N-K, thank
And if I can have all the board members, we're gonna take a picture of you with we're gonna give you your proclamation. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. You're under.
That's too much hair for me.
Oh, too much hair.
That's perfect.
They gave me the hair right here.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, they gave us some hair.
Just very.
They are so cute, and the lashes are popping. Okay, yeah. Oh, I love it. Oh, I got all. You're gonna love your lashes.
I know, it's really good, I like it.
Really good.
White hair is black.
Can you tell them, make sure?
All right, we ready? Thank you all so very much.
Thank you all.
Yes.
All right, at this time, we are going to move on to public comments and hearing of the citizens. We have one person that is here to speak tonight. Before I call you up, Audrey Anderson, our board clerk, will serve as timekeeper, and for those that are requesting to speak, the timer will also be visible on the screen. Public comment is in person only. Anyone wishing to speak in person at a board meeting must register 5 minutes prior to the start of the board meeting with the board clerk and/or sign-up sheet. Citizen participation is limited to the hearing of citizens portion of the agenda, and the board is not allowed to respond to comments pertaining to items not included on the agenda unless the response is limited to specific factual information or reciting existing policy in response to the inquiry. Each citizen is limited to 3 minutes to speak, and Terry Alfred will be coming up to speak.
Good evening, how you doing? My name is Terry Alfred. I just moved here to Bear Station in October of 2025, and I live right behind the elementary school. And I come to y'all today, just kind of bear with me on this here. And I'd like for you to hear this. This is what I hear every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday between 4 o'clock a.m. and 5 o'clock a.m. Just think about if you're trying to get you a good night rest and then you hearing this here. This here is video from inside my house. So this is how loud this here is. Okay, you got an idea of what we go through. And I went to the, I called the trash people on December the 1st, December the 5th, and spoke with a lady named Evelyn, and she was supposed to get back with me. She never did. So I went to their office on December the 15th, and I told them who I was, and they said, "There's nothing that we can do," and they all laughed at me inside the office. I called Harris County Precinct 3 on September the 16th, and they told me to come and bring our concerns before the school board meeting. On December the 19th, for early release day, trash was picked up at 4 p.m. Trash pickup service is contracted by the Crosby Independent School District. Therefore, the day and the time must be been stipulated in that contract. The time of day is the issue. Can't the hours between 9 and 10 and midnight be acceptable for the school, community, and the trash pickup people. We are asking for your help to resolve this time of trash pickup, or how can we move forward for a resolution? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Moving on to reports, item A, TEA door audit. And B, three-tier system.
Good evening, Dr. Patterson and board members. I'm here tonight to report on our latest TEA door and intruder audit. Again, this is state mandated audit that looks at our intruder detection, our exterior doors, and our interior doors. So on January 13th, we received an audit from our state. And in phase 1, there was no finding for our intruder detection audit. In phase 2, the exterior doors, it was no findings. And in phase 3, our classroom doors were locked and there were no findings. So I'm happy to report we're still 100% on our state door audits and we're keeping our kids safe. Questions?
Good job as always.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so I'm also here to give you an update on the 3-tier bell system as we implement it on January 6th of 2026. So in our transportation department, as far as staffing, as of this presentation, we have 4 new drivers with CDLs ready to drive buses. Unfortunately, 2 have already left us, but today we were able to hire 1 more new one. And then as of this presentation, we had 8 driver trainees. By the end of this week, we will have 2 more in, so we will have 10 trainees going through our training modules. As of right now, we do have 2 drivers out on FMLA, and then we had 3 drivers that left for job advancement since last semester. So we're steadily getting them in. It's just a process, and then trying to keep them in is what we're going through now with our staffing. I want to show you exactly how the training process, hiring process works, because it does take some time to get our trainees through. And so the first step is our initial interview and reference checks. And then we have to submit those people to the Federal Drug and Alcohol Clearinghouse, and we have to get their motor vehicle records reviewed. Once we've submitted the candidate then gets an electronic consent request that they must sign for them to actually run their history. Once we receive the approval from the clearinghouse, then we go through our HR background check, our fingerprinting, and then on to our actual hiring approval. Then comes the training part of transportation. So each candidate has to complete 26 hours of state mandated online training, and this prepares them for their commercial learner's permit. And that consists of 5 separate tests. Then the candidate has up to 30 days to take and pass their CLP written exams. Then the candidate has up to 60 days to complete the CDL skills training test, which is 8 tests. And this includes the air brakes, the engine components, and vehicle inspection parts. Then we move on to conducting the behind the wheel actual road training with our trainees. And once they've shown proficiency in that training, then they're able to schedule their actual CDL exam. And that's typically a 2-week waiting period. And while they're doing that, they also have to complete their required DOT physical. Then the candidate registers for and completes the state certification class and exam. And right now, the wait time for that is out almost 3 months right now. But they're staying in touch with the people, so if they have spaces open sooner, then we put our people in. But as of right now, it's about 3 months lag time. And then upon the certification, the candidate then completes Crosby ISD route training and student management, And that's about 3 to 5 days of them actually driving their route, trying to make sure they understand the roads that they'll be driving, and helping them to practice their student management. And once that's completed, then the driver begins their independent run of their assigned route. So it's a long, tedious process. My department is working extra hours trying to get them through the trainings, but it is a long, tiring process because the first part of 26 hours is all self-paced. So that's basically how fast can the actual candidate get through those 26 hours.
Will you say it one more time? So the window to take the assessment is 3 months out?
For that last certification, yes, ma'am. Because we can only go through Region 4 or if another district hosts one. And luckily, our people are really close with the person at Region 4, so they're always in communication trying to get our people in quicker. As far as the routing right now, we have 4 open routes due to those drivers, plus the 7 routes that our staff are covering. So if we can get all of these trainees through and those 3 drivers that we hired, these routes will be mostly taken care of. And so we're really pushing to get those because that'll allow our office staff to come back into the office. And then we service 9 daycares on our routing as of today. As far as ridership, our ridership is 4,544. And right now it's 64 fewer than last semester because we lost some and we gained some, so it didn't really change a whole lot except for 64 fewer. And then the study, you have a few added daily, just depending on people's circumstances and if they need to switch to buses. All right, for our bus arrivals in the morning, if you remember back in the fall, I shared that we had about 14 buses that were 15 minutes before the tardy bell, and that was 824 students. This spring semester, we're down in elementary to about 5, an average of about 5 buses a day. That comes within that 15 minutes, and that's about 364 students. So a great improvement there. And then after the tardy bell in the fall semester, we had about 9 buses averaged a day for 517 students. And now we're down to about 4 average per day at 218 students. So we're still tweaking and still trying to get that better, but as of right now, it is showing improvement, and we're continuing to work on that. As far as secondary, last semester we had 13 buses average daily, and that was 465 high school students, 212 middle school students. This spring semester, we're averaging about 1 bus at the high school because most buses are there at 6:30 on the dot or before. And so we're averaging about 1 bus during that time, about 62 students. And at the middle school, about 4 buses, about 143 students. And then after the tardy bell, last semester we had about 4 buses average for 216 high school students and 94 middle school students. Now there are no late buses at high school after tardy bell, and about 2 average for the middle school, and that's about 56 students. And when we say tardy after the tardy bell, most of those buses are within 3 to 5 minutes after the tardy bell. Very seldom are there 10 to 15 minutes after. And so it's steadily shrinking each week as we go through, and I think it's going to continue to improve as we go through this semester. As far as the PM, so we took as an average 30 minutes after the dismissal bell as a target of where we want to be, because it takes about 30 minutes for a car rider line at most elementaries. And so as of right now, we're averaging about 3 buses that are coming after 30 minutes after the tardy bell. And so we're continuing to work on that. And out of those 3, it's really 2 of the open routes that's causing those 3. It's 2 of our open routes that we're having to cover with other drivers after they do their regular run. And then for the secondary, it's none at the high school because they're all there at 2:40 waiting for dismissal. But at the middle school, it's about 11 that's coming after 30 minutes. So that's a huge concern for us that we're working on. And again, even with those 11, about half or more than half is about 45 minutes, but no more than an hour after. We have very few that's more than an hour after, but we do have one or two that's still, and again, it's those two routes, 509 and 506, that's causing that delay there because we don't have a driver for those. And those are huge routes that we just can't split with anybody else because they are full buses for the Newport area.
Will you say those numbers one more time? 11 buses coming 30 minutes after dismissal.
Yes. And then out of that 11, probably 5 to 6 of them are within 45 minutes after dismissal.
And then the other 5 to 6 are more than an hour after
No,
dismissal?
not more than an hour,
Okay.
between 45 and an hour. Right now, like our drivers are back on the lot now at 6:30, which they were not even doing last semester at all. The majority of our buses are back by 5:30 now.
So some of these buses are getting to the middle school then at like 5 and 5:15 for pickup?
4:50, 5:15, yes. The 450 is the 30 minutes, so about 5:15. But those are quick routes that they go drop off so fast because that large route that we're trying to cover is just a Newport route that's straight down, just stop, and they're done. So they're able to do it fairly quickly. It's just that we have to go back and get them because it's an open route. All right, so we were keeping track because we decided this semester to open up the middle school at 6:30 to help our parents. And so we've been tracking the data each day to show how many students are coming and taking advantage of the early arrival. And these are the numbers per day. I won't go through each one of them, but they're there. And they're steadily decreasing on most days because I think our students don't want to sit there for 2 hours early. And so parents are figuring out a way to bring them at the 7:50 time frame, either on the bus or they're just dropping off later now. In the communications department, we started the semester with our call center. That was a big success for helping our transportation department. And they really stepped up to the plate to help us in that area. And they created a Google form and we had already reached 492 responses. And parents were very grateful for that and was using that. And we used that as a really good communication with our parents. And then since the first week, our executive director, Ms. White, has been coming in early and sitting in transportation to help our director since everybody else is on routes. She's helping her to answer the phones and answer parents' questions when they're call in the mornings. And we've added our 4 people in the afternoons to also help our transportation department to answer questions. So that's been a huge success. I see a decrease in the amount of calls and complaints now. And so we just hope to keep building on that as well. All right, any questions?
Back to the, oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay, go ahead.
Back to the training. So the drivers that are in training now, I have no idea, there's like a 3-month kind of wait. So we're not really looking at adding drivers
It's
during
gonna
this
take
school
us,
year from
No.
those trainees?
we're looking at March, late February, if they can really go ahead and get started, because like I said, we do have connections. And so as long as we can push through all the other stuff, as soon as a slot opens, then we're able to slide some of them in. But the big window right now that they're telling us is 3 months is the bag right now, but we're able to sneak them if they have spots. So we're hoping to squeeze some into those spots as they come available.
And it'd be beneficial if someone came and actually had it before joining. That's the hopes, right? Is that people.
That's the hopes, is to get somebody that already has the CDL, already has the bus endorsements, because that's literally a week and they're able to start driving. So we really need to target trying to get more people that comes in with everything already done.
Commissioner, let me piggyback off trustee Police right here on the training hiring process.
Mhm.
And I appreciate this because it's very impactful. It shows us that there is a huge time, right, delay. It's not just hiring somebody and then coming in with 1 or 2 weeks and hop on the bus and start out. Okay. So on item number 10, the candidate registers and completes the state certification. I want to make sure I understand this correctly. It says currently scheduled approximately 3 months out. So once they schedule that, we're looking at 3 months to complete that task, right?
Yes, but we're scheduling now, but the next open is 3 months out right now.
So at stage 1 or 2 or 3, you're already scheduling for stage 10
Right.
right there. All right. Thank you very much.
Mhm.
So steps 1 through 4, what would be a rough time frame to complete 1 through 4? A week, 2 weeks?
It really just depends on the people who do the federal drug and alcohol, because that's the holdup. And so the quicker they do, because we can't do anything until we get that back from them. And that's been taking 2 to 3 days to just get that consent back. And it also takes our candidate to make sure they go on and sign consent. So we're always, for some of them, having to call them, go to your email, because you have to sign a consent for them to run it.
So on a very proactive person, is that 1 week, 2 weeks?
On 1 through 4, probably a week if it's a very proactive person. I would say a week to a week and a half.
And then step 5, if they have another job or they're doing something else, maybe they knock out 2, 3, 4 hours a day. So again, we can very quickly say that's anywhere from 1 to 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
So we're approximately 2 to 3 weeks, and we've got 30 days to take an exam, another 60 days. So very easily, we're pushing 4 months.
Yeah. It's one of the reasons why we want to do trainings in the summer, because we can get ahead of it in the summertime a lot easier.
Okay. And then I have just had one other comment. Thank you for that.
Mhm.
My second comment here yeah, it is a comment, is if you flip over to the elementary bus arrival, when you talked about after the tardy bell, we
Mhm.
went from 9 to 4.
Mhm.
My quick observation of this would also be that elementary is our last tier. So I think it's fair to say that if we have delay of any sort in tier 1 or tier 2 through the transportation, we're kicking the can, right? So
Yes, but
absolutely-
elementary's in the middle, actually.
Sorry, middle.
Yep,
That we're absolutely gonna have delays in that point.
yep, in the middle school. Absolutely right. Yep.
Okay, so what, you said that everybody pulls out to go pick up high school in the morning at 6:30?
No, some leave at 5:15 in the mornings. I said at 2:40 in the afternoon.
Okay, so what is the expected, what is the expected time that high school should be picked up at the bus stop in the morning?
It depends on the route. Some are super early because they're further out. And then there's some drivers that don't leave until 6 o'clock because they're further in. So all of our high school buses now are arriving at the high school between 6:20 and 6:30. We have a couple of between 6:30 and 6:40, but the majority of them are there waiting at 6:30 for the school to open. And so it just really depends on the route, because we have some very far out routes, and those drivers are leaving at like 5:15, 5:30 in order to pick those students up and get back to the high school.
Okay, so I guess that's why I'm asking it, because I'm wondering if they're dropping off at the high school at the time high school opens, then why are they still picking up elementary late? Because it seems like once they pick up elementary late, that is why a lot of the middle school is late. So I'm just trying to figure out why are they arriving after 6:30? Are they arriving at 6:30? And if they're arriving at 6:30 and no later, then why is elementary still getting picked up late?
So those late buses for elementary, I can tell you 2 out of those 4 average are the same 2 buses I keep talking about, 506, 509, because another bus is having to pick those up because it's an open route. If you ask our elementary principals, the majority of their buses are there on time now. But we do have those couple that's sprinkled in because of those having to go back and pick up those big routes because they're not covered right now. And so once we add our new hirees to those, that number is gonna drop, because that's 2 of those 4, is those 2 bus routes.
So without the office staff, how many bus drivers do we have? Without including the office staff that drives?
Right now, I think we're at 29? 27.
And then how many office staff drive? I think
7, everybody in the office.
everybody except,
Except for the director. Everybody in the office except for the director is driving. Every dispatch, even the mechanic has a route now.
and then the ridership numbers. So from 2025, when you gave that report versus this time, the numbers are the exact same. So
Right.
nobody picked up the route, like nobody came?
So they either balanced out where some left and didn't ride anymore because they didn't need bus, and then we added some. So we did add some, but the numbers balanced out. You know, you may have one or two here or there, but for the most part, they just balanced right out. There was not a huge difference between last semester and this semester.
It's the same identical numbers, so I
Yes.
was.
Yeah,
That
because when I
doesn't
gave
balance
y'all
out.
that number last time, that was after we did the registration for this semester.
I know, so that's why I would expect like BES to say 352 or 355, not 351 like it did last semester.
Because that number is from the December, which was after the window that we gave the parents to
This
add
was-
the new transportation. So that's the same slide from December, because the number we used in December was after we gave them that time to change their transportation.
So this isn't actual ridership, this is the estimate from the parents?
No, those are numbers from the actual people that are riding buses currently for Crosby ISD.
Okay.
It's the same as it was in December because we used the number from the registration period that we gave them in November to make the changes. Changes to switch over if they needed it or if they needed to take off transportation this semester. So in other words, I was just resharing the ridership numbers that we got.
On the staffing slide, it says currently have 4 new drivers with CDLs ready to drive, but 2 left. Then I heard you say 2 left, you mean 2 of those 4 left?
4, right, 2 of those 4 left. They
just
decided to
drove
go and
and
pick
said,
another,
This isn't for me.
yeah.
Do you have a lot of people calling in?
On average, maybe 3 to 5, maybe. I think our biggest issues right now is the 2 FMLA and the open routes. Because I feel like they've done a good job these first 2 weeks of not calling in, because I look at the parking lot every morning when I come in to see how many buses are still on the lot. And so I think it's been very empty these days. It's just those 2 FMLA routes and our open routes that's causing us the concerns right now. So if we can ever fill those positions, then you're gonna see even more change in those numbers. We gotta get those, until we get more bus drivers, it's not gonna become perfect.
Are
Until we
any
get
of
the
these
drivers.
drivers having to do double, or like, that's the first question. So do they double up at all, or 3 is the max, any of them take?
3. So they have to double up for like those open routes, like those 2 big routes. We are having people that's taking their route and then coming back to cover those routes. Those are our doubles. And then we have one in Newport that is a double route, but because it's such a quick route, it goes super fast because they just drop, then come back and get the other half and drop.
So, I guess my first question, I'm assuming that the kids, because you're referencing 2 bus numbers, those kids are consistently missing instruction every morning. So is there a way that we can provide? I don't know, I just feel like they're missing out every single day. And how are we ensuring that they aren't falling behind academically? That's my first question. My second question is, how late are staff having to stay at the middle school to wait on the last bus? Like, what time is the last bus getting there?
So I'm not there every day. I'm going to say about 5:30, for 5:45, the latest 5:45.
And they get out of school at?
Early, 5:15 now? Yeah.
And that's very rare in itself. Usually 5 o'clock is it. Everybody's loaded by 5.
Okay, everyone is loaded by 5. And school gets out there at 4:20?
4:20.
I just want to add, like, I do appreciate the numbers going down and more students getting into class on time. I am, I guess, concerned with, I guess, my impression of what I expected with the change in the 3-tier was that we were gonna be more prepared as far as like bus drivers and not having the staff have to drive the buses. I think that was a part of like what was told to us, that was like a big deal to get those staff members who are not bus drivers into their offices and working on, and doing the things that they were hired to do. So it is, I wanna say I feel like a little misled,
Can I
because-
respond to that?
Wait, because it seemed like everything was a go, and I do remember you saying, I think we were needing 10 drivers in December. I just feel like it was, we need more than 10. I don't know, it seemed like when, I didn't expect, I guess if I would have been told, that it would still take 3 to 4 months to get people certified to drive buses, you know, I think I think that was critical information that was missed to me. Because in my mind, the last time we talked about this, it was February, that some of those drivers needed to get certified. And now it's almost April. So it just seems misleading to me. And so I do appreciate the students being the ones who were late and those numbers going down. But I also feel like we're not moving forward enough, for me. I'll just say that, for me.
I have a question on we're servicing 9 daycares. Do you know how many kids that is?
No, right off the top. I don't know how many kids.
Not off the top.
On average, how many stops does a route have?
Average between each daycare is usually between 11 to 13 children. Except for your really large ones. We have 2 really large ones that we get about half of us load. For your elementary group, you get about 30 kids, and one of those there in the center, and then down at the other end, they actually drop off at the daycare, and they go back to the school to pick up everybody else because we cannot fit them all on one route.
How many other districts that are our size service daycares?
I don't know any that service daycares because I'm used to seeing the daycare buses actually coming to the campus, dropping off and picking up. So I don't know any that actually go to daycares and pick up or drop off at daycares.
On average, how many stops does a route have?
On average, yeah, it just
It can go
depends.
from 10 to 25 stops.
Yeah, it just depends on the route, how far
So
it
if you're
is.
like in Newport, somewhere that's close, you're gonna have more stops than, let's say, our buses that are going out to the north end or the south end of town. Because the majority of their time is travel time, so they're traveling more than they're picking up. So they'll only have enough time to pick up 2 or 3 stops. And then they've got to turn around and come back in order to get to the school in a timely fashion.
Except for your Barrett area, which services, Shore and, Shady and, what's the other street? Lord, that, those stops are about 25 to 30 stops. And so the route itself takes a very long time to service, and the deadhead time, which is from the campus to the first stop, is about 25 minutes.
And those 2 routes are 2 of the 4 that he's speaking of that are consistently late for elementary.
It is
Barrett.
Barrett Elementary.
I think as a board, I don't know, I'm just thinking out loud, but, I have also checked on how many districts, I've put my feelers out to see if there's any districts that cover picking up daycares and, children and dropping them back off, and I haven't got a response from one. So, maybe that's something that we need to reconsider as well, to kind of free up some of the space on buses and the routes.
I feel I need to make this comment. I want to say thank you, okay, to y'all for efforts and for exploring. I mean, there's no perfect answer to this. It's trying to figure something out, okay? So I want to say thank you for that. I also want to say, for anyone listening online, that this is a joint effort with parents and community as well, okay? So I'm going to tell you of 3 instances that I watched last week as an individual just out in the community driving on 2100, where a bus stops early in the morning and a mother walks her very, very young child to the bus for whatever reason, it's obvious that he doesn't want to get on the bus that morning. And so I sit there, and I sit there, and I sit there, and I sit there. That delay causes the other delays. This is not just a Crosby ISD transportation problem, okay? These are real life things that a kid just, for whatever reason, doesn't want to step on the bus, okay? The other issue is a collective group of kids standing there waiting to get on the bus, and they're playing and running and kind of just play fighting with each other. And everyone else has gotten on the bus. And we wait, and we wait, and we wait until those two individuals want to get on it. So what I'm saying is it's not just a Crosby ISD bus transportation problem that's causing the delays. It's also kids. It's also parents. And it's a community effort that we've all got to collectively do to get through this. But furthermore, it's an understanding that there's a lot of different variables to this. Okay? Felt like I needed to say that. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for what you do.
What is communicated to the drivers as far as how long they should wait? Because I've even called before thinking there was a problem on the bus.
We don't leave any kid at the bus
We
stop.
don't leave any kid at the bus stop.
That's been our policy. We don't leave any kid at the bus stop. That's been the district policy.
When
Sit there
things
and
happen,
wait.
then that happens. It's very scary, and you'll have a kid that will run up to the bus and you won't see him, because as soon as we start moving that bus and
Then they decide to run. Right.
Have you looked at how much time that adds per kid when you do have to wait?
I haven't.
Because I probably sat almost 8 minutes and I called to say, hey, can someone check on the, because we thought something was wrong on the bus. But I mean, eight minutes per child, you can hold up to 70 students on a bus.
my favorite is they're down half the block and you see them. They're not even making it under 2 days to the bus.
It's the slow walk, right?
Right,
So
it's
they're
the slow
watching-
walk.
It's the slow walk.
Yep. Yep.
I want to say thank you as well. I was just asking about the day. I have nothing negative to say. More kids are back in class than what was before, and that's our goal, is to have kids learning.
And we
And
keep
I
working at it every
understand
day.
that there's going to be delays and all of that other stuff. And I mean, I hate to say it, but I'd rather your kid be on time and be late coming home than I would the opposite. I struggle at math, and if I was missing math class every day, I would be one of those students that failed. So I would much rather them be in a classroom. And, so I appreciate all the effort that's gone into it as well. And I was just throwing something out there about the daycare routes.
And we'll continue to work on it. We work on it daily. I spend half of my day looking at data of stop times and arrival times for every single bus. I made a spreadsheet trying to figure out where can we steal time. I'm sure they're tired of me calling them saying, can we try this, can we try this, because we want to make it better. But until we get enough drivers to be fully staffed, it's gonna take a while till we get to almost perfect.
Do we drop the students off with no parent there, whatever the grade level is?
Except for kinder
Except for kinder.
and pre-K.
Yeah, since I haven't said anything, I have to. Same thing, I mean, thank y'all. I mean, this has been a lot of work. It was scary changing mid-year. We knew there was gonna be a lot of, we know it disrupted some family schedules quite a bit. I will say, social media wise, we've actually, when there's complaints, anybody that has complaints is gonna go to social media. And people that don't, generally don't get on there to say anything good. This time, I have to admit, there was some, there's been some negative comments about the schedule change, but most of the ones I noticed, most of them weren't new complaints. It was, things didn't get better for them, the ones I saw. There was actually a lot that I've seen that said, this is working way better for them. And the numbers bear it out on them getting to school. Obviously, it's still, but it's not like y'all don't know that's not a problem still, and we're working on the drivers. But this is a big deal. We're getting a lot more students than we were. And from switching to this system did that. And even without having a bunch of new drivers ready to go right now or anything, the schedule change alone is getting hundreds of students that were missing class time, not missing class time. That can't be overlooked. Like, that needs to be recognized, and I thank y'all for that. I think the hard work of this administration, y'all's department, thanks a lot for that. Again, I'm not, I'm not saying stop, keep after it, but it's worth bringing that up and really letting people know that, so thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda for tonight's meeting is the consent agenda. From the items above, are there any items requested to be pulled from the consent agenda and discussed? If not, do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Move to approve consent agenda.
Second.
I mean, it's Thomas.
Yes, ma'am.
I have a motion by trustee Humphries, a second by trustee Thomas. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed by nay. Abstentions? Motion carries 7-0. Moving into regular business, item A, discuss and consider approval of budget amendment 2 for fiscal year 2025-2026.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion by trustee Chapman and a second by trustee Humphries. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed by nay. Any abstentions? Motion carries 7-0. Item B, consider approval of nutrition services equipment replacement at CHS, CMS, DES, CKC, and PK for a total of $124,217 with commercial kitchens via buy board contract number 789-25.
Move to approve.
Second.
I'm gonna use Khalees. That was Khalees, right? I have a motion by trustee Chapman and a second by trustee Khalees. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed by nay. Any abstentions? Motion carries 7-0. Item C. Receive, discuss, and consider TASB update 126 legal policies, discuss and review local policies, discuss and review and adopt. BE local board meetings. Am I doing it? Okay.
No, I don't think so. Am I right about
Well,
that?
someone has to read it on the motion.
No, because the next is the motion language, will be written there for him to say. So I move that the Crosby ISD Board of Trustees add, revise, or delete local policies as offered by TASB Policy Service for consideration and according to the instruction sheet for TASB Localized Policy Manual Update 126.
Second.
Okay. I have a motion by trustee Humphries and a second by trustee Thomas. Any discussion?
I have a question about BE local. No, it doesn't impact my vote, I'm just curious to know. The deadline for submitting for inclusion on the agenda is the 5th working day. Used to be the 5th, now it's the 10th. I can't get it to pull up. The deadline for submitting items for inclusion on the agenda is the 5th working 10th calendar day before regular meetings, and the 5th, it used to be the 5th and now it's the 10th. Was that a TASI recommendation or was that?
because of the requirement change, right? The time frame.
Okay,
Because, thinking that's.
okay, so that was a TASI recommendation or did
All of
someone from
these
the
are-
board?
all of these are
recommend this?
TASI.
Okay. And then, also in BE local, it says that voting on any item should be voiced, or using a show of hands, so does that mean, I'm reading that we should not be saying yea or nay, we should be voting yes or no individually. Am I reading that wrong?
We will look at that. Right now, what we started doing for the new law is, well, we've been doing it in board
It's
book.
the
She put-
posting it.
Mhm.
It says voting on any item shall be voiced,
We have to say or signal something.
Yeah, I'm reading it as we have to say something or signal that we're
Okay.
for or against.
Okay.
That would be not like a line item.
BE local.
I'll double check, I mean, we have to do it, so I'll just double check.
If we're adopting this now, until we get that answered, I think, to be safe, let's raise hands for the rest of the votes on this. Does that work? That way in
I don't read
case.
it that way at all. It says shall be a record vote, which she gives at the very end, she said, gives a full
7-0.
record.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And especially when, I know when it's 7-0, it's a lot easier because anybody could object if they said, I didn't vote for that, but if there was anybody that didn't, I could see
Okay,
it.
in reviewing, I just read that and I wasn't sure, so. Thank you.
Any more discussion? Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed by nay? Abstentions? Motion carries 7-0. Item D, discuss and consider approval of the memorandum of understanding between Crosby ISD and the Hobby Center for the Performing Arts.
I move the Crosby ISD Board of Trustees approve the memorandum of understanding between Crosby ISD and the Hobby Center for Performing Arts,
Second.
also known as Hobby Center.
Second.
Barrett seconded. Sorry, thank you. I have a motion by trustee Humphries, a second by trustee Barrett. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed by nay. Abstentions? Motion carries 7-0. Item E, discuss long-range planning.
So this is a discussion item. We, back in December, our long-range planning team presented to you recommendations, the committee recommendations. There is additional information I have to share with you that came in hot off the press about 2-3 hours ago. And that is, and it's important for you to know and consider when you are considering whether to accept those recommendations and go out for a bond election. Harris County has made the decision not to partner with local entities for the May 2026 election. So that means if we move forward with a May bond election, Crosby ISD is solely responsible for handling the election. And this is a discussion item for discussion, concerns, wonderings, comments, all of the above.
Do we have an approximate figure for what it would cost for, you know, for us to do it without Harris County?
We don't have that just yet, we just got the word today, but we can definitely research that.
Yeah, that was gonna be mine before, obviously before we come to a meeting where we take a formal vote on this. The numbers would be important. Staffing issues, do we think we can handle it, all those things? Well, it just opens up a lot of questions. I mean, since I've been here, it's always involved. So even if, say we had and ours isn't, this doesn't affect us, but say we had a school board position open, it would be the same way, like if one was open in the spring? We would have to run it ourselves?
Yes.
Even on that?
Yes.
So they're not partnering with the school districts at all for this spring election?
Yes.
But in the fall, they will be?
Yes, so it's mandatory in the fall. Every November is mandatory.
Okay.
Is it also mandatory in odd years?
For May.
Yeah, if we can see
That's a
the
good
price
question.
differences, because I know we pay
Send it
Harris
out.
County anyway when we do it, but.
It's my opinion that we're in the business of educating, not trying to figure out how to run an election, so I think that would be tiptoeing into dangerous waters.
Yeah, I'd want to see what resources are out there, and as far as who help, are there third-party services? Like, those are the type of questions I would have, like, are there third-party services that come help you do that you would contract with them? Since I don't think I'm wrong here, I doubt anybody here
You are correct.
that with the district has done this before.
You are correct.
Okay, so, yes, I mean, see what's out there. It's a big deal.
I'm with Chapman. I agree that we need to be focused on that side and not taking on the other. It's my 2 cents and all of it.
I totally agree with that, but I'm also very concerned about space for our kids. Kind of hard to teach them when they don't have a chair and a desk in a building. So I would like to know what the cost would be and who, you know, can it be done instead of just not even looking into it. That's my opinion.
I agree.
We're behind. I mean, we kind of pushed it, you know, I mean, I don't know. We're behind. So, don't want to get any further behind, but maybe it can't be helped, but I'd like to see the numbers.
I'd be interested if there's interested to know if there's just like a turnkey service that comes and does it.
Yeah. And if we did that, it would just be for the district, right?
Right.
Nothing else.
We can definitely research that.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
No, thanks for the update on that, though. That's a shocker, though.
Yes, sir, it was.
Okay, the board will now move into closed session. The time is 7:30 PM. And we are moving into closed session according to Texas Government Code 551.001 pursuant to section 551.071, section 551.
because it's going 2 to 3
We are going to reconvene from closed session. Item A, consider the hiring and contract of Edwin Egan's as Director of Athletics.
Move to approve the contract for Edwin Egan's for the position of Director of Athletics.
Second.
Have a motion by trustee Humphries, a second by trustee Thomas. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed by nay. Motion carries 7-0. Do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I'll make a motion that we adjourn the meeting. Second?
I'm gonna go with Barrett. I have a motion by trustee Roach, a second by trustee Barrett. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed by nay. Motion carries 7-0, 8:03 PM.
Good meeting, guys.